As a Japanese housewife living in the US, I want to look at the counterfacts of socialization from unique perspectives.
Have you ever thought about where the water in your tap comes from? For a bustling city like Hong Kong, a place famous for its towering skyscrapers and vibrant economy, this question reveals a fascinating and rather ironic story. It's a tale of ambition, unforeseen consequences, and a complex relationship with water that continues to shape its future. Today, we're diving deep into the surprising history of how Hong Kong's quest for water independence actually led it to become more dependent than ever. Back in the 1950s and 60s, Hong Kong was facing a severe water crisis. The population was booming, but the city's natural water resources were scarce. There are no major rivers, lakes, or significant groundwater sources. The city relied almost entirely on rainfall collected in reservoirs. But this was incredibly unpredictable. Droughts were common and often devastating. Water rationing was a harsh reality of daily life. At its worst, residents would get water for only 4 hours every 4 days. Imagine queuing up with buckets, your entire life revolving around this strict schedule. The government knew this situation was unsustainable. Something had to be done to secure a stable water supply for its growing population and economy. The dream was simple: water independence. So, Hong Kong embarked on an ambitious and ingenious plan. If you can't find fresh water, why not make it? led Das scheme a groundbreaking. The idea was audacious. They would build a massive dam across a coastal inlet, pump out all the seawater, and then let it fill up with fresh water from rainfall and river runoff. Essentially, they were turning a piece of the ocean into a freshwater reservoir. This was an incredible feat of engineering, creating the world's first reservoir in the sea. It was a symbol of Hong Kong's determination to solve its own problems, a powerful statement of self-reliance. Following its success, an even larger project, the High Island Reservoir, was completed in the 1970s using the same method. These projects more than tripled Hong Kong's water storage capacity. It seemed like the city had engineered its way to water security. The problem was solved, right? Well, here's where the story takes a sharp, ironic turn. While these incredible reservoirs were being built, another solution was quietly put on the table. In 1960, Hong Kong signed its first agreement to purchase water from mainland China, specifically from Danjiang, or East Trevi, in the neighboring Guang province. At first, this was seen as a supplementary, short-term measure to get through the immediate crisis while the big reservoir projects were underway. It was a practical fix, but the long-term goal was still self-sufficiency. The Danjiang water was a safety net, not the main plan. But this safety net would soon become a lifeline. Even with the new mega-reservoirs, Hong Kong's thirst for water grew faster than anyone anticipated. The economy was rocketing, and the population continued to expand. The reservoirs, as massive as they were, still depended on local rainfall, which remained notoriously unreliable. The cost of building and maintaining these huge infrastructure projects was also astronomical. Meanwhile, the Dongjing pipeline offered a seemingly endless and much more reliable supply. Year after year, the agreements were renewed, and the amount of water imported grew steadily. The temporary solution started to look very permanent. This is the core of the paradox. The very policies designed to achieve independence created a new kind of dependence. Building the massive reservoirs was incredibly expensive. To justify this cost, the price of local water had to be high. But the imported water from the Dongjing was, at the time, cheaper. Economically, it just made more sense to use the imported water for daily needs and keep the expensive reservoir water as a strategic reserve. This created a cycle. The more Hong Kong relied on the Dongjiang, the less incentive there was to invest in other local water sources like desalination or water recycling, which were also very expensive technologies. The city had locked itself into a path of reliance. Think about it this way. Hong Kong built a state-of-the-art kitchen, but found it was cheaper and easier to just order takeout every day. The kitchen is still there, ready to be used in an emergency, but day to day, the delivery guy is on speed dial. Over the decades, this arrangement became deeply entrenched. Today, a staggering 70 to 80% of Hong Kong's fresh water comes from the Dongjiang. The city pays a fixed annual fee for the water, regardless of how much it actually uses. This has led to another strange situation. In years with heavy rainfall, Hong Kong's reservoirs get so full that they have to release precious local water into the sea even while they are paying for a full supply from the mainland. The dream of water independence, born out of the hardship of the 1960s, slowly faded into a pragmatic reality of interdependence. Hong Kong's engineering marvels, the reservoirs in the sea, now serve more as a backup system than the primary source. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. The stable supply from the Dongjiang has been crucial for Hong Kong's development and has prevented any return to the days of severe water rationing. It's a relationship that has, for the most part, worked. But it also raises about security. What happens if the Dongjiang River itself faces environmental pressures or shortages? The region it flows through is also developing rapidly with increasing demands for water. Recognizing this, Hong Kong is now trying to diversify its water sources once again. The government is investing in new technologies, like advanced desalination plants and water reclamation, to reduce its reliance on a single source. It's also promoting water conservation more heavily. It seems the quest for water security is a journey, not a destination. The city is trying to rebalance its water portfolio, learning from the lessons of the past. The story of Hong Kong's water is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most straightforward solutions can have complex, unintended consequences. The very attempt to become independent created a new form of dependence that lasts to this day. It's a fascinating tale of engineering, economics, and politics, all flowing from the simple, essential need for a glass of water. What do you think? Is this kind of interdependence a strength or a vulnerability for a global city? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from behind the scenes of our modern world. See you next time.